very competitive, and we have quite a number of competitive races. There are 11 governors who are trying to get re-elected, and many of them have gotten a little scared that the voters are really angry and the voters will change from 3 weeks ago.
We'll have to speak to that a little more because we always get to this point, when it's only during the electoral process and the pre-election time that we have that kind of attention of politicians. But we'll talk a little more on that. Something, give them some assignment ahead. But let's go back to Ibadan, your state capital, where our correspondent is trying to give us some updates. Bukala, can you hear us now?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, wonderful. So, what's the update at this time?
Well, I think there's quite a number of issues with low voter turnout in the areas that we have visited here in Ibadan. And even some parts of Oyo and other parts of the state. But as the day progresses, we know that the turnout is getting a little bit more impressive. We spoke to one of the INEC staff earlier on, who also confirmed that by this time, during the presidential election, they have had like twice what they are having right now. But with me, I have an observer, the director of the Nigerian Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuruja, who will also share with us what the experience has been since he has been ministering from. Good afternoon, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, I'm Professor Motaro. I'm the Director General of the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies. I'm here because my organization is in partnership with the EU to observe elections. At this time, we have in 12 states of the Federation, 6 each from the 6 geopolitical zones, monitoring elections in 12 different states. I'm supposed to be in Abuja today, but because there is no governorship election going on in Abuja, I chose Oyo State for election observation.
Wow. So what have you observed so far?
What you have seen, what did you deduce? What can you say?
They are scared.
They started monitoring the election.
Okay, for the presidential election, the turnout was actually very large. The enthusiasm was
not so
people all over the monitored. Turnout has been so very low. And then we are hoping before
most of apart from most of our candidates also put anybody on the way. So I will bother that I'm very few to know my journey. So it's really but most of them also that asking to get to
You are an academic. The obvious scare. What can you say is usually responsible for voter apathy when we have situations like
what else we're looking at?
Well, I'm not supposed to say too much. People here.
I didn't like it.
The state of the elections.
No, so far we've done that.
Many other elections, the voters are usually more interested in the presidential elections because they feel when the presidential election happens, the rest of the elections will follow suit. So when they don't think that the party has won at presidential level, they are usually also what is coming out here. There is nothing else to say. That should be the reason.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. Thank you, sir. There you have it. That's first-hand experience from those on the field who have also been monitoring the event. We're still here are still monitoring the elections, and we hope that Officer Progressives will have more cheering news to share from Ibadan. Over to you, Mr. Hugh.
Bukola, given this report, it's quite interesting when we talk about the low water channel. Maybe some might think it's not surprising. But state is saying there's a big is that the same thing, same feel as you're getting from various other parts of the state? Well, we'll definitely get back from Bukola on that one. Quite a tricky one. I mean,
yeah, I wanted to even find out from her, from the voters themselves, you know. And it's also very good to get the feel of the people. What exactly are they feeling? What are they experiencing? What are their impression of the entire exercise? Because at the end of the day, it's about them. It's about the people. So as soon as we establish contact with our correspondent, we will definitely get back to her to get a feel of what's happening in your state. But we still have a guest here in the studio. Let me come to you. A bit of your impression of the exercise. Let's move from region to region. I'm sure you've been in Lagos, you've seen what's going on. You've heard our correspondent talk from the Oyo State capital. You've also seen us read, heard us read some of the elections happening in maybe Ogun State and all of that. So what's your general impression? Because at the end of the day, if we put them in blocks, they will have variations of outing and remarks at the end of the exercise.
Absolutely. So I think that based on what we've been seeing so far, in a lot of the states that observers are out in, the election seems peaceful. We're getting reports from places like Taraba State, places like even Plateau State, which we expected to be a little heated, that have been somewhat positive, as well as Ogun State as well. You alluded to Oyo State earlier, that earlier in the week, we had some incidences that sort of acted like a precursor of what might be a violent outcome today, but the reality on the ground, just like your correspondent rightly affirmed, is the reverse. And the same thing is happening in Sokoto State, where 3 weeks ago we had several elections cancelled and several undeclared at the Senate and 11 at the House of Reps undeclared because of the outcome there. But today, everything seems to be going to plan, everything, the voting seems to be happening. And the same thing in Rivers State. But then again, I think it's kind of early to tell because this is still people coming out to vote. It's at the point where votes are being collated and votes are being counted. That's the point where people's sense of the lack of accountability starts to really play out. And I think that we have to sort of wait. We've seen isolated incidences of voter suppression in Lagos. In Imo, you reported earlier that there were some kidnapped officials, but thankfully the security forces stepped in on time.
All right, just one moment. The visual you're seeing is the APC governorship candidate for Kaduna State, Senator Obasani, who is indeed going through the process of casting his vote in this election, the governorship and House of Assembly election that's also taking place in Kaduna today.
Once you're a public figure, everyone has to get a feel of you. Once you're a public figure,
it's not just that you're a public figure. If you're one of the key contestants, you're one of the frontline candidates. There are maybe 18 political parties in that state. I don't know how many exactly, but of the 18, I'm sure there are people that they're focusing, but that doesn't mean the other ones are not important at the end of the day. So Just to put it in perspective.
Minister, don't even go there, please. But Dr. Oluwatola, you were making that point about what's happening in the various regions. I mean, Jeffrey asked about your impression concerning the Southwest. I mean, we've talked about three. Okay, just before that, suppose that for let's quickly get back to Kaduna State where correspondent.
So it appears there's a change of plan. He wanted to speak to the president.
Yeah, but they're trying to make way so that you'd have a comfortable spot. There's a lot of people milling around that particular polling unit.
We hope our cameraman can get the vantage spot.
Wow.
Perhaps others as well. I'm sure they're also planning to vote at that particular polling unit. We're talking about one of the candidates for the elections in Kaduna.
You're the
This
child.
is what the people often say that African province are able to.
The governor's
Wow. Bye.
Candidate, you've just exercised your franchise. How do you describe the process?
The process so far is going very smoothly. The report we are receiving from various local governments clearly shows that people have really come out to vote, particularly in some rural local governments. The turnout is very, very impressive. And I have no doubt in my mind that our supporters have really mobilized and have come out to vote for APC generally.
Do you have confidence in the process?
The confidence, the process is going very well. And the fact that they have decided to extend the election for at least a week, it makes them to properly organize the process. I'm happy with the process and confident APC will win this election.
18.
That's the APC candidate in Kaduna State talking to the press. Certainly we'll give you more of that later on. So, Dr. Oluwatola, you were talking about the region. So Lagos, we've talked on Lagos, Ogun State, Oyo State. We've had feelers also from Ekiti State, where the vice president, cast his vote, and a number of places like that. What are you hearing from that region, southwest of Nigeria, in terms of the conduct general process?
So yeah, like you rightly said, we heard from Ogun State where we have a somewhat competitive race. All the opposition parties have come together against the ruling party. So we expect that there's a lot coming from there. Oyo State, we heard from Oyo State and Lagos State. Ekiti and Osun State don't have they have an off-cycle process as well as on those states. So we're not hearing as much. It's a little more mellow what's happening in those states. But so far, based on what we've seen so far from our observers, it seems that it's the same story, that the process has been relatively peaceful. But INEC turned up on time in many of the polling units where observers have visited, and there hasn't been reports of real serious voter suppression or violence. I think the same recurring information we keep getting is that voter apathy seems to be the case in a lot of those states.
I know you also said that it's too early to say about voter apathy, but then it seems that for some of the states where the off-cycle elections are taking place, just House of Assembly, there are not a lot of people.
Nigerians tend to not really care as much what happens in the state legislatures because they don't really feel the effect of the state legislature. When there's a gubernatorial election, there's a presidential election, people are passionate.
My apologies, Dr. Mata. Is it that they don't feel the effect, but they don't even know the effect that they are having? Because there is no governor that can perform its duties without the legislature in the state.
Absolutely. I think there is a wholesale sort of generalization of what the various levels of government represent. A lot of people think that the House of Assembly exists to provide infrastructure and to do the types of things that the executive does, and when they don't see that, happening as much. And yes, they do have some responsibilities where constituency projects are concerned, but ultimately their job really is to act as accountability partners to the executive and check the executive. But so far we haven't seen the House of Assembly become very strong. It's the hope that we have that now that for the first time we've got 8 parties represented at the national level.
That's for the national.
That will start to change, but at the state level, it's hard to see.
Perhaps for now, but Jeffrey, you had questions, tons of questions about the legislature, and I'm sure you want. Yeah, because but let me quickly continue to perhaps the issue of state assembly elections. The concern is the understanding or otherwise of it. For the people who are going to vote today, most people are going to get 2 ballot papers, and they're just going to thumbprint, almost perhaps without knowing who exactly they're going to be voting for. They're just going to thumbprint for the party. The pictures of whoever are not there on the ballot.
Yeah. Well, like Dr. Toby said, the reality when it comes, the lower it gets in Nigeria, the less interest citizens appear to have. And I do agree with you that perhaps also because of the level of awareness, about the importance, and that's why you see people blame the president for their local roads not being tied or for drains not being cleared. Even where the ruling party at the center is not able to say on this thing. And then when you look at the way politics have been played at state level, especially with states organized elections going strictly to one party, there is a lot of distrust by citizens of governance at state level. So that's an issue that needs to be. And then of course, because in our country, the one who holds power, who holds executive power is seen as the ultimate. So you see people are interested in governorship, they are interested in who the governor is, because they know that's a lot of power. But they are also more interested in who the president is, because they believe that it is in Abuja that they share the resources. So whatever is going to come to your state or come to you, a lot has to do with the powers of the president. So it means that we have a whole lot of work to do, because if people do not understand that they can make serious change to their quality of life, to the delivery of governance to them at the state level, through the state legislature, it's difficult to really have a functional society. People do not appreciate the importance of local government. So this is part of the reason why after this election, we still need to go back to all those issues that we have been on. How do you ensure that local government remains relevant, to the lives of citizens? How do we do voter education for people? So for instance, if in any state you have seen a situation where not the one that is orchestrated from Abuja, but where the legislature really says that, things are not going right and we are going to be impeaching the government, or somebody is being recalled, it's going to give a lot of confidence, to citizens.
I'm really waiting for that. I'm really waiting for that to happen.
Because how we look at that
competition, for even the attempt that I've been how successful all the lives.
IPT was successful, Plateau was successful, by Abuja, not by the people.
To now see it as something. But we have an update on that. Yes, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to the assembly, but let's hold up on it for a bit. Let's go back to the field where we were reporting. We told you, and we're ubiquitous, we'll be everywhere to ensure that we bring you all the stories across board. So be part of it as well. Send us pictures, send us videos. If there's violence in your area, we may not be that particular spot at that time, but if you let us know, we'll drive in and get that information out to the public. So wherever you are, just send us information across board. We will keep displaying how you can get across to us on social media, just hashtag 2023 verdict. But the VGC area residents set up a field in a particular location to vote. You see that picture there. We understand there are 8 polling units there, and the residents said that they have traditionally voted there for about 20 years. They even cited that the presidential election was done there, but to their surprise, the electoral umpire moved their polling units to
outside the VGC gate, they are suspicious in their words of this move because they say it leaves them open to elements where elections could be disrupted by thugs and even hijacked. We understand some of them have refused to vote. That's coming in from the VGC.
So we've been talking about that for a while. A number of people have been making videos and circulating all over the place. Some celebrities have also done that, putting their word out.
So apparently they are not ready to vote.
They are ready to vote.
They are not willing to vote.
Yeah, okay. To another location. If that had been communicated to them ahead of time, perhaps that would have been something for them to consider.
So let again, communication from INEC.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked about that over and over again. Why would you insist on that? And hey, it's very important that people know what is up. If there is a reason, the people deserve.
INEC should please speak up or speak out because it's their right to vote. And if they are suspicious for whatever reason, it's also their right to suspect. Given the trust gap, the trust deficit we suffer as a country, we hope that one day all of this will be in the past, but right now we have those issues. So if all of a sudden I voted 3 weeks ago and I come and my polling unit has been moved, what exactly is going on? That's exactly what's really natural for everyone to suspect.
There are about 8 polling units there, and it's also past 1 o'clock at the time. Well, we'd like to take you now to Ogun State. We understand one of the candidates in that election has also exercised his franchise there. I believe it is Mr. Lade Adebutu, PDP candidate in Ogun State.
Let us see when the counting begins, because that's when the true sense of what you have done comes to the fore. I'm encouraged with the turnout because people are truly affected and they're responding in a true desire to improve their lives. The question now is, will the system allow their votes to count?
We'll move to Oka now in Anambra State. It's not the governorship election, but House of Assembly elections are taking place there. Our correspondent Joy brings us the latest.
We have a very clement weather here in Oka, the Anambra State capital. Here is polling unit 008, Aromo 1, with 2,470 voters. The turnout is not quite impressive if you see behind me against what happened here in February 25th during the election. But hopes are high that people will still come for this election. Now, aside the State Assembly election, there is also a run-election in Ogbaro Federal Constituency, whereby the House of Reps election will take place also today. Remember, Anambra State is not having the governorship election. It will interest you to know that it was only yesterday that the incumbent administration of Professor Chukuma Soludo clocked 1 year. And so it is clear that the crop of House of Assembly members he's been working with were inherited from the last administration of ex-governor Willie Obiano. This will be the first election, the House of Assembly election under his watch. There are a few things to note about this election. One, the INEC says they have configured over 1,000 beavers for this election, fully charged and ready for operation. And then for the police, they say that it's only the federal forces that are allowed to monitor this election, to provide security for this election. If you are in the vigilante service, you have no place here. They've all been excluded from participating in this particular election, either by way of monitoring or providing security. It's only the federal forces. Now, here in this polling unit 008, Aromo 1, accreditation has been done for some people, verification has also been done for some people, and voting has commenced. Let us hear what some of the voters have to tell us about this particular election, how prepared, INEC has been for this particular election.
It's been on seamlessly, like the other one. I guess because of the, voter apathy, that is obvious. I don't know why, but it's smoothly.
You just voted?
Yeah.
And how do you feel casting your ballot?
I feel very, 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 very satisfied with the system and myself. We should be able to be part, of the system that brings in the governance. You know, I don't know how to express my feeling. I'm just very glad we went to vote. I say my voice towards, you know, this is a good governance issue.
No, I'm very glad there's no violence here. There's no violence, at least. Everything's organized very well. But I'm also, I think people should be very clear that they are voting for the conscience, for the conscience of the masses, for their future as well.
They have expressed their opinion, and they are very happy that there has not been any violence in this particular area. And we hope that it will also spread in other areas. There won't be violence, there won't be surgery, and there won't be anything untoward. This election will hold free, fair, and credible. From polling unit 008, Aroma 1, Joel Padilla, reporting for Channels Television.
Your DA there with the latest from a number of states where they are voting to elect their House of Assembly representatives. And let's go over now to a location in Lagos where our correspondent Timothy Crown Adegube brings us the latest from there. Timothy.
We are here at Osholo Secondary School in Iriwe community of Ojo, local government area of Lagos State. On these premises, there are two polling units, one of them 001, where the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Dr. Olajide Adedira, just cast his ballot. Getting to this community takes about 1 hour travel on water. It's a peaceful process here where party agents and observers commend the process. Timothy Crown, Adegube, Channels Television News.
So we are looking at, you know, what's happening in hinterland, we can call it that.
Yeah, I mean, who was it that was talking to us about that earlier? I mean, that's really where we have the voters. A lot of people are in that community. How many urban areas do we have in Nigeria? You know what I mean? And it's the same thing all over the world. But right now, we also understand that Olu Phillips is on standby. I was trying to give us some updates earlier. Olu, what's new right now?
What can be new? Everything is new. As far as these places are concerned, we're still around the Jawest. So from the hinterland to the upper land, we're still in that Jawest area where we had pockets of violence, or not necessarily violence, what you can call voter suppression. So there are no ballot cross snatching, there are no ballot stopping. What we have done is a subtle suppression, disenfranchising people from coming to vote. We are on a street called Muslim Akinse Street. If you know that name, you ring the bell. That's the managing director of the Lagos Parks Street, where we've heard stories of people being intimidated out if you're not voting for the ruling All Progressives Congress. And it's a state of what we are talking about. The Labour Party agent has just received a phone, a deck to his ear, and he's already bleeding. Look at his ears. Look at his ears. He's just been, because he wouldn't do what they want him to do. And he's saying to us, and his life, he feels threatened, his life, he doesn't feel safe. And he needs to get out of this place. We've seen some military men patrolling around this area, and we're hoping that this would help bring the kind of sanity that people who want to vote and pass their vote and exercise a franchise can do around here. It's a stronghold where we are. There's no mind in I know, we know, but we have to do our jobs. So, for instance, we're told that the last time during the presidential election, one was there, one is there right now, which is this one. And the second one, my cameraman, don't move too fast, cameraman, can you turn back to me? Just turn back to me. And the second one walked in this hotel. But on this governorship election, the second one has been moved down. You see where it is down, right there in front of the strongman's house. And that may not mean anything, that could mean anything, that could mean anything, that could also mean nothing. But it meant that if you're going to vote, and you're going to vote in front of the strongman's house, you know what that means. This is happening live in Ajawa State. And so from Osono Way to Asafari to Latif Landing, we have the same complaints of voters who have been harassed and beaten up and told to vote for the ruling party, get out of the polling unit. We have videos that we can send you much later after this, because we're getting those videos via other writers. And when we're waiting live on television, but this is what we have for you. Ayo, you have something else?
Yes. Well, the question that I naturally want to ask is, where are the security officials that are supposed to ensure that people are able to exercise their franchise?
I'll give an example of what either the electoral access or what they have in terms of voting opportunities. So you see a polling unit like this, and you see policemen who are not armed, just one arm, this one here and this one here. I don't know how much they can do in terms of warding up. Election should be elections. People should be able to say, my choice is this, my choice of candidate choice is this, my choice to vote is this. But it doesn't come as simple as that can be or should be. And this is a worry, a big worry. Initially, in February 2015, we saw a lot of logistics issues, we saw a lot of challenges, moving materials and all of that. Today, we've seen laxity, we've seen lethargy, and we have seen voter suppression. And you ask, we prepared for years and beyond for a day like this, and we're still having this kind of situation. What does it really say as far as a voting country like this is, with a size of over a 200 million population, the most populous black nation in the world? We should actually get it right. I don't know what the reforms could be from this election, but INEC has got its job cut off for itself. The National Assembly has got its job cut off for itself. A situation whereby we have people who are not armed. Even the military detachment that are coming around here have told us that we can't stay with you, we can only patrol. If we see pockets of violence, then we can step in. So we're taking a chance to do this on the street of this strong man. I'm hoping that we face at doing our job, and all of the apparatus of government will be kicked in. And in places like this where we all know that will be a stronghold for any party to want to take. Remember what happened in presidential elections? All of this were lost. The ruling party lost all of these places, and I'm sure, I think, maybe they don't want a repeat of that incident around here. Perhaps, Ayo.
We'll have to let you go. So, as we always say, we want you to remain safe wherever you are, because I know that that's not your last stop. You're still going to go to one or two other places. Just keep safe wherever you are right now, okay?
And when I asked if something was new, I think his shirt is new.
Yeah, yes, change the shirt as the movie says.
Yeah, but it's okay. Let's keep going, girl.
Thank you, and we'll get back to you. But it's also important to mention, I mean, this security thing is actually quite concerning, and we mentioned earlier that we were hoping that the police spokesman in Lagos will speak, but we've been able to reach out to the Commissioner of Police in Lagos, who says, well, he's going to speak to us later on. And most certainly expected, because there's been quite a number of issues in various parts of the state. We've talked about Oshodi, about
we're hearing things from more of the areas as well.
Exactly. So he would want to compile all of that and give us a comprehensive report, so to speak.
But I wanted to talk to Oluwatobi on this particular issue. But I know you're also tracking some issues that has to do with the election. And now, speaking to the violence, there are some electorates, because of what happened in the last election, they are coming out literally combat ready. Does this justify that disposition?
I think that people need to protect themselves, and I think we've seen a case where someone got killed, we've yet to verify, in self-defense, and people are trying to protect themselves. I think there are other trends that we're seeing across the country. In Kwara, Kogi, there's a lot of vote buying going on. And
we'll speak to that. Apologies, Dr. We'll speak to that, but you know, this question of security or lack of it, that people, the significance of it is quite telling. Well, we are happy again to reiterate that the Commissioner of Police in Lagos is perhaps now to talk to us later on today to ensure that at least police is on top of its game.
They're doing that aerial surveillance.
Exactly, to ensure, you know, things go the way they go. We have a lot of guests to bring up later, but speak to that very, very quickly. You know, the question of security and all of that. Yeah.
I think to be clear that the security of elections is in the hands of the police and the security services. So just like you rightly said, the head of football and head of police in Lagos is about to speak to us. Let's hear what they have to say, because a lot of people, there's a tendency that people then think, you know, pilot, but the elections are involved stakeholder engagement, and everybody has to play their role. The security services particularly have to play their role, and I think that there's a lot of fear and rightly so, and suppression as well. And but at the same time, there's still also lots of places where things are peaceful, and I think it's important that the security services communicate properly so that people can have the peace and the comfort required to come out to vote, because I think it's having a big impact on turnout.
Yeah, you talked about it rightly also, that it's a multi-stakeholder engagement in terms of the security. So, the question that I wanted to ask you, but I just wanted to leave that environment because of this, because I mean, I don't want to do that. Is that, we understand that there's supposed to be two layers of security. Two. There are supposed to be at least two. One is the police unarmed. The second one is supposed to be an armed operator. The rule, now it's the rule that the leaders told us now that they said that they can't stay with the policemen right there because they are not armed and that they can only roll. It means that there is a layer of security missing, right?
Yeah, it means that there is a layer of security missing. It also, it's true that the roving one cannot stay because it defeats the purpose. They're supposed to be, and it's also a police roving team. So they're supposed to be communicated. They should be like 5 minutes away from any sport. But the police players are the polling units, not counting units. They don't have walkie-talkie. You cannot rely on phone network to communicate and call for enforcement. And that is if they want to anyway. And when we started before even today, when we started to hear some communities calling for traditional rights, Oro, and all of that, I would have expected the IG, the police commissioner, to have come out strongly and say that none of that, because we are having an election that supersedes every other thing we think we must do. The security business is that of the security agency. Traditional institutions have their own. In this business, we need the security agencies to be on top of it. So because a lot of that were not addressed, the police didn't come out. So
Yesterday, the PBRO talked about it, because this election was coming up, except you mean that it didn't come out as at the time the announcement was.
As of last night, about 8 p.m. while I was still driving, there was still announcement on radio that traditional rights will happen in certain places from 12 midnight to 4 a.m. Don't move. And when you look at Lagos traffic yesterday, for instance, I just hope that things are not happening as now. Because that Lagos traffic yesterday, people will definitely go to their localities by 1 a.m. or thereafter. So some of these things should have been nipped in the bud. It's not necessary at all. Because we have heightened, people are being scared, So that's probably explains. Perhaps at the end of the day, if it has had effect, it's also possible that has had effect on people's reluctance, to come out, and also people's trust that the police will live up to its responsibility. And the day is not gone yet, because this is the early part. We expect the police to up their game. The military are around to yes, you see where the correspondent was, Olu mentioned, it took the military to actually come. So the idea that we need the police first to be the first layer of security for them to be able to corner enforcement. Now we are going to move from here to the rack centers, and that's where this really starts.
Okay. Well, there is a lot more to talk about, but we need to take a break, take a few messages, and when we return, a number of other people that are going to be joining us for this conversation. So please stay with us.
Mobile. Visit www.9mobile.com.ng or info 9 Mobile Experience Center. Here for you. Here for your job.
Good afternoon, sir. Please, I need a room to rent in your house.
Okay, where do you work?
I'm there now.
That means you won't owe me rent. Congratulations, young lady. You have yourself a house.
Thank you so much, sir. So, how much is the rent?
90,000 naira. Oh, but wait, where are you from?
I am from Akamata.
Akamata what? Akamata is my house. If you know how you got into my house, please get out right away. My spirit and that of Akamata people don't have anything to do together.
Sir, what have I done?
The people from Akamata are known for bad things. That is what they represent, and you can't live in my house. Just get out right away.
What's going on?
Leave my house, young lady. Yes, our differences extends to our languages, culture, food, and even belief. But we are bound together by the cord of love. With one heart and one voice, we will make Nigeria a hall of greatness, a place where the people live as one.
This message is brought to you from Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the UK government.
Good afternoon, Oga. Now you be the landlord.
Yes, landlord.
Oga, landlord, me go need room for this your house, sir.
Okay, she will get what we do.
Yes, I be nurse.
You don't go to go with that now.
Now how much be your rent, sir?
Not just 90,000 naira. Wait, this girl, where you come from, sir?
Oga, I come from Akamata.
Akamata? No talk am again. My spirit and Akamata people need the ever soul.
Oga, what's happening now?
Come on, my compound. My social baba thing, and people are for that Akamata. Come on, here. Papa, what do you see me saying there? People like you, they spoil Nigeria, Papa. I think you don't see me. My people, they talk say jollof rice. We dey for bottom pot today. Go dey top of cooler tomorrow. And I think it made you, so you said made me. Because now one mama we get, we be Nigeria. But we love ourselves. Because now only together we go fit make our country better for us and our children then. One heart plus one love equals better Nigeria. Now the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the UK government, they bring this message.
Wait.
The time don't reach when we can choose who the ruler of the election in our life and destiny. We come out to go plus and they will not allow any interview person because the game was happening. You want to know that you know about those for election they make you carry your car, carry your power, pack and put out your ballot paper. Nine winners them. Yeah, Tom, they make even your became the president. People who get disabilities because you get the ability to determine who the next president will be. So therefore, make all of us join body do the military so that Kasala no go force for election day. Apali go download just watch our mobile app for your Google Play Store. Like the security man when we help us report anybody who will cause Kasala for election day. Now Justice Development and Peacemaker Center JDPFC for Oshobo with support from European Union. We call every man, woman, youth, people with disability. We get PVC, make them vote for March 18, 2023. Your home, now your power, and your choice, now your future.
Good afternoon, Oga. Now you be the landlord.
Yes, landlord.
Oga, landlord, me go need room for this your house, sir.
Okay, she will get what we do.
Yes, I be nurse.
You don't go to go with this house.
Now how much be your rent, sir?
Not just 90,000 naira. Wait, this girl, where you come from, sir?
Oga, I come from Akamata.
Akamata? No talk am again. My spirit and Akamata people know the ever join.
Oga, what's happen now?
Come over my compound. My social baba thing, and people are ready for that Akamata. Come over here. Papa, what's in this same girl to you now? People like you, they spoil Nigeria, Papa. I think you don't see them now. My people, they talk say jollof rice. We dey for bottom pot today. Go dey top of cooler tomorrow. And I think it made you now, so you self made me. Because now one mama we get, we be Nigeria. Make we love ourselves. Because now only together we go fit make our country better for us and our children then. One heart plus one love equals better Nigeria. Now the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the UK government, they bring this message.
The 2023 general election is here, and we want you to share with us how you feel and what you see about the processes and activities of the election. Send a well-taken photo of yourself with your PVC or even your inked finger after voting. Send to these social media handles using this hashtag or to our email 2023verdict@channelstv.com and be a part of the 2023 verdict coverage on Channels Television. Take a picture, vote, and be counted.
This is our landlord and his wife. Happy South Africa, sha. No mind the man.
Without any laws like our Market Square Junction. Una don't start this now gossiping again, Abi. Okay, Una makes their Akamata Community Square. They sell their votes to politicians for cool 5K. Una sit down here, they go Una say, it's alright. Maybe we say go collect our own cash, collect waiting. God forbid. So you want to sell the next 4 years of your life for 5K, Abi? Well done. You sabi say this 5K now 4 naira per day for the next 4 years. Make una get sense now. Haba, na nonsense una dey talk. Make month end reach, make una no pay me my rent. Na that time una go see fire. Make una no dey listen to people like this landlord. Election no be business. Na your civic duty to your country to help elect the correct leaders dem. We go fit create better life for us and we go get future for our children. Make you no sell your vote. Because if you sell your vote, na your future you don't sell be that. This message now from the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the Makoto Foundation.
Well, it is still our studios for the 2023 verdict state elections, and don't forget to take Millicent's counsel earlier to take those pictures. But yes, with us in the background, it would be nice to see how you are, following the events.
Conversation.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, it is about our lives. Many of us shouldn't forget that. It is not about the politicians, it is about us.
Somebody even said politics is too serious to leave it to politicians.
Well, because, I'm still quarreling with that word. I realize. Anyway, that's not for us. We did with Dr. Oluwatola and Mr. Ibadu. We've since been joined by 3 other gentlemen in from 2 of our studios in the country. Dr. Saidu Ahmed Dukawa is lecturer, Department of Political Science at Bayero University. He joins us from our studios in Kano, along with Abdul Latif Abubakar Joss, who is a public commentator and publisher of Solace-based online newspaper. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us this morning. Okay. We also have a security expert in the person of retired AIG Wilson Olibu, who joins us from Abuja. Thank you. Yes, thank you for joining us. Let me begin with you, Dr. Saidu Dukawa. You have been following the process, and we've taken quite some reports from Kano State as well this morning. What do we know? What do you have? What information do you have about the conduct of our people, conduct of politicians, and conduct of the electoral umpire about the process so far? Dr. Dukawa, can you hear me? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Please go ahead.
All right. So I think I've been following the development since morning, especially through the local media, and the reports are quite encouraging. In many places, elections have started in good time, and people have been conducting themselves well. There are pockets of disturbances here and there, including my own point of voting, but within a short period of time, normalcy was restored, and I was able to vote peacefully and join in this stadium.
Thank you. How about you, Mr. Abubakar Jos?
Thank you very much. The situation in Kenya. This morning, I had to go apart from coordinating all reporters that are on field. You know, when we talk about election management or the election process, we talk about stakeholders that include the umpire, that is INEC. We talk about the politicians. We talk about the security agents. We talk about the electorates. So, if you put all this together, there is a very large turnout of electorate as expected, because all along I've told a lot of fora in which I've spoken. I said, look, the presidential and the national assembly elections are not being viewed from the perspective of the governorship and the state assembly election, because the governorship and the state assembly election are local politics, whereby people are seeing the people that they are voting for. And we're talking about the electorate. So, in most places, the INEC distributed election material in good time. But even at the play, at the rural areas, they had challenges this morning, because even as of 10:30 in the morning, there were areas whereby there were no INEC staff, neither were there the materials. So in terms of logistics, there were a lot of challenges in that perspective. When we look at the issue of the security are well on ground. Security apparatus make sure that it brings confidence to the electorate so that they really vote the apathy. But there was a thing in Kano this morning, that is around the TNG area, which is Wale and Kano Municipal. When this area happens to be where the governorship candidate comes from, and the Kano Municipal area also, we have where the chairman of one of the major political parties comes from. Initially, they used to even be from the same voting point, but I think INEC in its wisdom separated that recently. So the tug of war in that area was so high, and that was where you have a bit of skirmishes this morning. And as I speak with you, the police have been able to arrest some of them. As of this moment, the police have not confirmed it, but we saw it because there were some people that were caught with their ballot papers, and there were fake observers also that were discovered. So you see, when you look at it, we have almost about 15 political parties participating in the governorship race in Kano, but there are about, I think, about 4 or 5 that are seriously being contenders, and when you now reach that, it's like a 2-horse race. That is from the incumbent political party that is in the state and the regional opposition parties.
Well, Mr. Abubakar, we will most certainly take it up on that, because I mean that's a security concern you just expressed to us, and we're just hearing now that in Katsina State, one bandit is said to have been set ablaze after he failed his failed attempt to disrupt elections, to disrupt the election process along General Hospital in Batsari local government area of Katsina State. Eyewitnesses say the bandit, alongside another co-conspirator such as himself, were intercepted by a team of security forces. One bandit said to be set ablaze after his failed attempt to disrupt the elections along